Boldness is not the product of human effort. It is the fruit of knowing what has already been accomplished and who you already are because of it. Fear grows where people believe they are distant from God, uncertain of acceptance, or waiting for approval. Confidence rises when people realize they have been brought near, made complete, and welcomed without condemnation. The Old Covenant world was filled with distance. There were barriers, sacrifices repeated endlessly, earthly temples, and constant reminders of failure. The people stood far off while a priest entered on their behalf. But through Christ, the separation ended. The veil was torn because access was fully opened. The believer is not trying to climb into God's presence. The believer lives in union with Him. Hebrews declares that we may come boldly to the throne of grace. That invitation is not reserved for the spiritually elite. It belongs to everyone who rests in Christ. Boldness is not arrogance. It is confidence in the finished work of Jesus. Many people live timidly because they still think God relates to them according to performance. They hesitate in prayer, doubt their standing, and fear punishment. But the cross settled the issue of acceptance forever. Jesus did not partially cleanse sin. He removed it completely. Because of that, there is no reason to shrink back. The early believers demonstrated remarkable confidence, even in the midst of persecution. Why? Because they understood that the kingdom had arrived in Christ. They were not waiting for God to become favorable toward them. They knew He already was. They proclaimed truth openly because they believed the reign of Christ was present and active among them. When Peter and John stood before the authorities in Acts, the leaders marveled at their boldness. These were ordinary men, yet they spoke with unwavering confidence. Their courage came from being with Jesus. True boldness is not personality-driven. It flows from revelation. The destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70 marked the end of the Old Covenant age that had opposed the New Covenant reality. The passing of the temple system revealed that the old order had become obsolete. God was no longer dwelling in buildings made with hands. His dwelling place is His people. That realization changes everything. You are not trying to reach God in a distant holy place. His Spirit lives within you. Because of this, boldness should shape every part of life. Be bold in prayer because you are heard. Be bold in worship because you are accepted. Be bold in love because you have been forgiven. Be bold in sharing truth because Christ reigns now. Be bold in trials because nothing can separate you from His love. Too many people wait for perfect circumstances before stepping forward, yet boldness is often expressed in weakness. Paul said that when he was weak, then he was strong. Confidence does not come from self-sufficiency, but from dependence upon the indwelling life of Christ. Fear says, "What if I fail?" Faith says, "Christ is already enough." Fear says, "I am not worthy." Grace says, "You have already been made righteous." Fear says, "God may reject me." Truth says, "You are eternally embraced in Christ." The believer does not fight for victory, but from victory. Christ has already triumphed. His kingdom is not postponed to a distant future. He reigns now. Because He reigns, His people can live courageously now. Boldness also transforms the way we love others. When people are secure in God's love, they no longer need to compete, pretend, or hide. They become free to serve, forgive, and give generously. Perfect love casts out fear. Fear loses its grip where love is fully known. Jesus is not ashamed to call His people brethren. Think about that. The Creator of all things has brought His people into intimate fellowship with Himself. If God is for us, who can stand against us? The call today is not to strive harder for courage. The call is to awaken to what is already true. You are accepted. You are forgiven. You are complete in Christ. The old has passed away. The new has come. Walk boldly. Pray boldly. Love boldly. Speak boldly. Live boldly. Not because of confidence in self, but because of confidence in the one who finished the work completely and reigns forever.